Hello, in this video I'm going to show you the easiest way to download and visualize NISAR data in QGIS using the NASA Earthdata QGIS plugin that I created. And NISAR is a joint mission between NASA and ISRO, so it's the Indian Space Research Organization, and it provides SAR data that we can use to monitor the global change, especially related to movement, motion, sea level rise, and vegetation dynamics, something like that. And it's very, very useful, but it's a SAR data, so not everyone has the skills to be able to process and handle the data. But you might want to use it because it's very powerful and very useful. So in this video, I'm going to show you how to download the data easily, so you don't need to do coding. You can just, with a couple clicks, you can download the data and you can visualize the data easy. And I want to show you the website. So the NISAR data user guide. This is a very comprehensive website put together by ASF. Is the Alaska Satellite Facility. So they have this website dedicated for NISAR, and I highly recommend that you go through it. Kudos to them. It makes life so much easier for users, so we can just go through, but still you need to go through the step to be able to utilize the data, understand the data. And I'm by no means a SAR expert. I'm also just starting, but I'm hoping to create a series of tutorials showing you how to use SAR data and also INSAR so that you can utilize that in your applications. So we're going to learn together, but for today's video, we're just going to get started to download the data. And the satellite was launched in July 2025, about half a year ago. And the sample data just became available a couple of days ago, I think 3 or 4 days ago, and it's still pretty new. And so this case study show you how to do the download the data. If you go to the link in the video description below, go to the website and then click here, available data. It will show you some of the sample data. So it's a very limited number of sample data, but we can do into that. And then I think they're going to release more data after they finish the calibration. So hopefully we have a lot more data, and it's huge. I think for every day I see generating tens of terabytes of data. I think maybe 80 terabytes. I saw it somewhere in the user guide, but it's a huge amount of data. And so you definitely need a way to be able to download the data, visualize them using desktop GIS. Most of the Jupyter Notebook environment, you will not be able to visualize them easily. So we need desktop GIS to handle that. And specifically for this sample data set, it covers a couple locations. Antarctica, especially for monitoring ice movement, glacier melting, is very useful, and also vegetation in Africa and some other countries. So we're going to basically look into this and then download some of the sample data, then we can quickly look into that. All right, so let me show you how to get started. First, you need to, let me show you QGIS for NASA Earth data. You can Google it. You should be able to find the link. I will also put the link to the plugin in the video description below. So this one shows you basically the plugin you can install, but don't install this one directly. You will make sure that you follow the instructions on GitHub. So if you click the details and then go to the GitHub repository, I actually show you how to install the package, how to install the plugin, and also QGIS using PIPSI. So make sure you follow the instruction here. I'm not sure if I put the video. I think I need to link. I link the video tutorial here, but you also I will put it in one on YouTube so that you can put a link in the video description below so you can follow if you want to. So this is the link, right? The 120 petabyte of NASA data. So this is the NASA QGIS plugin, and once you follow the instruction, you'll be able to launch that using PIPSI. So for me, I'm just going to just launch using my terminal. Actually, I installed it using Conda, but make sure you follow the tutorial to install it using PIPSI, because it requires some dependencies, for example, Earth access. All right, so once you open QGIS, then you go to the plugins menu. From here, you can just search NASA NASA and then Earthdata. So you will see the link here. And so once you install the plugin, you will find the menu here in the QGIS menu, and from here you can click this NASA Earthdata Source Settings, check for updates. So I recommend that you click this one and click here, check for updates, because there's a release a new version and it fixed some of the bugs and also added some new functionality. You want to go here, download and install updates, click yes. Should be pretty quick, and then you can close it and then close the QGIS, then open again. Oops. QGIS. So in order to be able to download data from NASA Earthdata catalog, you need to have a NASA Earthdata account. So if you don't have one, follow the instruction here, the link to GitHub, and you can just register for a profile, for an account. Then once you have the login information, you can open the NASA Earthdata, the settings menu. So from here, just type in your username and your password here. Click this test credentials. If it's so successful, then you're good to go. Also, there's another way to authenticate this .netrc file. So this is the file stored under your user directory. So I already have this one, so I don't need to authenticate. So either one is fine. So first time I have to authenticate, you will save the file on a local computer. All right, that's it. So I hope this is relatively straightforward. Basically, you just need the account. And after that, let's open the NASA Earthdata plugin, and we can start searching for the data. First, you might want to add base map. So for example, I'm going to add the Google base map here. And once the map is loaded, you can start searching the data. So for here, you can search for NISAR. Hit enter. Then from the drop-down list, you will see the corresponding list of the NISAR data. You're welcome to choose whatever you like. So it provides data from level 1, level 2, and also level 3. Level 1 is actually pretty complicated. So it probably, unless you know how to process the data, you don't want to use this one because it's not gridded. So it's very difficult to visualize them on the map. So we can try level 2 and also level 3, whichever you prefer. For example, we can try the first one, level 2, GCOV beta V1. And if you don't know what it means, you can go back to the NISAR documentation, and then on the left side, click data products. Scroll down, you will find some of these menus here. For example, we can look at the level 2 geocoded products. And so the one we clicked earlier is GCOV. Is the geocoded polarimetric covariance dataset. And you can look through the documentation here if you want to learn more about that. So I'm just going to assume that you know, and then I'm going to come here to search the data. So here you can click this use map extend. It's going to use whatever we're showing up here. After that, just click this search button. You're welcome to customize the date. Right now, there's not really much you can customize because the limit that they said is pretty limited. As long as it's before the launch date, you should be fine. So this is basically 1 year time range. If you know the specific date, you are welcome to customize. So for me, I'm just going to click the search button and take a look. Now you will see some of the footprints in here. I think it's only 6. Yeah, only 6 data set from here. You will see it from the drop down list. And you can click some of those and then click the zoom to footprint. It will be highlighted in yellow color here. So you can scroll down here. Also, you're welcome to go through, for example, the size, and some of them actually pretty big. So here, it should be highlighted. So let me zoom to the other one. Oh, this one is also ice. So for example, I'm going to zoom to this one, 1.8 gigabyte. You can see the file size range geometrically from less than 1 gigabyte to almost 7 gigabyte. And for this one that I'm selecting here, it covers Africa. Okay, so once you select this one, you can click the download button here. Select specific roles. You will just download just one, and then you can select a folder where you want to download. So for example, I'm going to put it under my downloads directory, and then if you click choose, it's going to download the data. So this might take a couple of minutes, depends on your internet speed. And the file is at .h5. So it's the file extension is h5 in here. And don't try to open this one directly. If you're trying to, let me show you here. If you're trying to drag this one directly to QGIS, it will allow you to do that, but it's not georeference. So because it loses the georeference information. So let's try this one. For example, I'm going to select just one of the data layer, click add layer. The layer will be added, and if you right click to zoom to the layer, is probably somewhere in the middle of the ocean. So it's like 0, 0. And if that is not overlaid here, you're supposed to be overlaid in Africa. It doesn't, because it's the H5 is not working, the extension. So what we need to do here is very simple. Just Control C, select the file, Control C, Control V, and then just change the file extension to NC, to NetCDF. Okay. After that, drag the file again. It should be very much similar. Now I can select the same data layer here and then add layer. Okay. Then zoom to the layer. Take a look. So now we have this data layer overlaid nicely within the footprint. Okay. This is great. Otherwise, if the georeferencing information is lost, then you want to visualize. But the data looks pretty dark. It just, you need to change the symbology, the visualization. So double click to open the layer properties, and then click symbology menu. From here, click this min max value settings. You want to choose this one, cumulative cut. Okay, so basically we're using the percentile. And once you select this one, click OK, apply. Hopefully it should be much better. I think it's because I'm recording, so it's a little bit slow. Oops, that's interesting. Okay, now it shows up. It's just a little bit delayed because it's using a lot of resources simultaneously when I'm recording. And this is it, right? So here you can see the data layer. You can zoom in, and this is pretty high resolution. If you double click to look at the information, scroll down, you can take a look at the resolution. So this is 20 meter. It's pretty high resolution, and the file size is, if it is uncompressed, it should be several gigabyte. Right now it's 1.8 gigabyte, but if it is uncompressed, it should be a little bit larger. And this is how you can visualize the data easily using QGIS. So you can use the plugin to download the data, and then you can use to visualize it. You can export the data to GeoTIFF if needed. So just click Save As, and then from here you can select GeoTIFF. So in that way, you can convert it to cloud optimized GeoTIFF. Then you can host the data on the internet for other people to access, or you can do post-processing or using Python to process the file so that you can get some insights from the data. So this is just one way, one of the data type. For some of the data, not all of them can be converted to NetCDF. It might require you to use GDAL to translate to other format. But for this tutorial, I'll just show you some of the simple one, and you can choose whichever you prefer. For example, you can also select level 3. Okay, zoom to the global extent. Then you can click search. For this one, we only have one, and it's only like 113 megabyte. So let's click this download button and then click download. Select the default downloads directory. It should only take a couple minutes, and you can open my downloads directory. You can take a look at here. The file size is increasing, and add raster, no, because it's HA5. You want to convert it to NetCDF. So Control C, Control V, and then just NC, hit enter. After that, you can drag the file. So here again, you're welcome to choose whatever you want. I'm going to select this one, soil moisture 32-bit floating point, and then just add layer. And now it's loaded into the map nicely. Over there, you can see some of the no data area, because for urban area there's no really soil moisture, so those area have been excluded. But for other area, you'll be able to see this soil moisture here. And if you want to, for example, to compare them side by side, so the bright area represents high soil moisture values, darker area represents lower value. And then I can use the LeafMap QGIS plugin. I can compare the data using the swipe tool. So here, once it is open, interesting, but there might be about why it's so big. Anyway, so I'm going to select maybe the soil moisture, and then also maybe the Google satellite. Click activate, and from here I can, oh, there's a background, so you can see the data layer here. Okay, now I can close it. All right, so this is what I want to show you. It's pretty short. If you already have NASA Earthdata account authenticated, open the QGIS and then just turn it on. And from here, you just open it, and now you can just search it pretty easily without having to go through all the steps that I just showed you. All right, so that's all I want to show you. I hope you find it useful. I will see you in the next one. Take care.